In this video, we're moving into Chapter 3, Running Applications in Kubernetes. From pods to deployments and even batch jobs, we're breaking down how Kubernetes actually runs your applications in a cluster. Let's get started. Think of a pod as the smallest deployable unit in Kubernetes. It's like a wrapper around your container, or even multiple tightly coupled containers. For example, if you have a main app and a helper tool that must live together, put them in the same pod. They share the same network space and can talk to each other using localhost. Pretty cool, right? But here is the catch: pods are ephemeral. They come and go. If one fails, Kubernetes just spins up a new one. That's why pods are usually controlled by something bigger, like a replica set or deployment. Let's say your app needs to run 3 instances at all times. A replica set makes sure exactly 3 pods are running, no more, no less. If one pod crashes or a node fails, the replica set jumps in and replaces it automatically. Here is how it works. You define a number of replicas, it uses labels to track pods it owns, and if anything goes wrong, it corrects it. Replica sets are great for high availability and scaling, but most of the time, we don't manage them directly. We use deployments to control replica sets. Deployments sit on top of replica sets and pods and bring in advanced features like rolling updates, rollbacks, version control, easy scaling. You just write a deployment YAML file with the number of replicas, the container image, maybe a few environment variables, and boom, Kubernetes takes care of the rest. These are for stateful apps like databases, message brokers, or anything that needs stable identity and storage. Each pod in a stateful set gets a unique name, like DB0, DB1, its own persistent volume, a stable DNS address, and they're created in order. Meaning DB0 comes up first, then DB1, and so on. This is super important for clustered systems that rely on startup order. Stateful sets also terminate pods in reverse order to keep everything graceful. So while they're more complex than deployments, they're absolutely essential for apps with memory, storage, and connection needs. Sometimes, you don't need a long-running app. You just need to run a task once and finish. That's what jobs are for. They're perfect for backups, data processing, report generation, one-time scripts. You define the task, Kubernetes runs the pod until it finishes, and then it shuts down. Done and dusted. You can even set completions, how many successful runs you want, parallelism, how many can run at the same time, back-off limit, how many times it should retry on failure, and if you want it to repeat on a schedule, use a cron job. Just like a cron job in Linux. Schedule it once, and it runs on time every time. Pods are the basic unit, replica sets make sure you have the right number, deployments manage updates and scaling, stateful sets keep track of state, and jobs handle tasks that just need to finish once. Kubernetes gives you control, automation, and resilience all in one place. If you're serious about running cloud-native applications, these are concepts you must master. Practice exercise. What is the smallest and simplest Kubernetes object used to deploy an application? A pod in Kubernetes can contain one or more containers that share the same network namespace.